Welcome back to Movie Reviews from a Drawing Table. My name is Brian, and today we're going to talk about the film The Wizard of Gore. So, if I had to break down the time spent that whenever I'd go try to rent a movie or something, if I had to break down which genres got my attention most, it would be horror, sci-fi fantasy. A lot of places combine the two. Uh, Action, comedy, and drama. Those are the five. Well, really, those are the five that existed. And you know, when it comes to horror, I'm not one of those who puts one subgenre over the other. I'm not one who looks at horror movies and goes, "Oh, it has to be a slasher, and it has to have tits and sex and blood and violence." I love a lot of horror, genres, subgenres, if you will. And every time I saw Wizard of Gore on the shelves, it just didn't really appeal to me, honestly, because gore for the sake of gore doesn't really do much for me, which is kind of odd considering I do like the Terrifier films. But and also it was like from the 70s, I believe, and whenever I was younger, it was like, ooh, 70s, ooh, ooh, what's that? Ooh. Today is not brought to you by Diet Coke. It should be. So, but then again, that was me as in my youth. So I decided, as I'm much older, I figured, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what it's all about. It's about a magician who does a show and brings a lady on stage, and you see him cut him in half with a chainsaw, and it's all gory. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's all nice. Yeah, nothing's happening. Ooh, this is kind of boring." And then, once the show's over, the lady goes off to do something else, like goes to a restaurant, gets in her car, and she dies the exact same way that she died on stage. Kind of, kind of interesting. You got some reporters who are really investigating it, and I'm just going to say that for the time, the gore effects were pretty good, but the rest of the movie is not. I'm sorry. The acting honestly comes off as first week of drama school and, drama class in high school. The magician guy, he's over the top. The acting is just so stilted. It across the board, it was just taking me out of it. I really could not. I stuck with it to the end, and there's something of a twist to the end of it. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, if you stick around long enough to even get to that point, more power to you. But for me, this was not a good movie. I can sit here and say, yeah, I've seen it. It wasn't part of my formative years and, being a horror fan or anything. And I mean, Herschel Gordon Lewis, I'll give him all the credit. He did try. I'm not sure what the budget was for this movie. Like I said, the gore for the time that this movie was made, pretty good. But and that's the only thing that's really gonna elevate my score from. I'm gonna give it a 2 popcorn bucket rating. That's about as far as I'll go with it. I've seen it. Now I know that there is a remake with Crispin Glover. I haven't seen that yet, but I will give it a shot eventually, somewhere down the road. Maybe, maybe that's one of those remakes that somebody looked at and said, this movie didn't, this movie sucked. Let's see if we can do better. Now, I know this movie is probably high on horror fans' lists. It's not on my, it's not high on my list at all. So please, down below, give me give me your opinion. Did you like the movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What's your, just comment down below your thoughts on The Wizard of Gore. In the meantime, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.